Welcome back. This is the Domain 1, Task 8, Observe Activity. Let's get started. Task Overview. At this stage, you should have obtained approval of the project charter by the sponsor, but you still need to communicate with the relevant stakeholders to ensure a common understanding. You will provide stakeholders with key information about the project high-level scope and schedule, as well as ensure that they are aware of their duties. In this Observe activity, we will introduce the context of the task, the key concepts, essential technical knowledge, and discuss important issues. On the next 5 screens, you will find visuals and descriptive elements that inform the context of the Domain 1. Cloud Tag, Overview, and Task Line. Skip these screens if you have already taken another course in this domain and already got your refresher. You will resume your study when you reach the Key Concepts screen. Let's take a fresh look at this task. Where does it fit in? According to the RDS 2015 published by PMI, there are 8 tasks associated with the Domain 1. What main outcomes a project manager could expect to achieve as he or she completes these 8 project activities? Domain 1 Overview. Initiating a project involves the steps required to develop the project charter properly. Part of the work of the project manager is to define the high-level scope and risks, identify relevant stakeholders, and review the business case in order to obtain a common understanding and agreement on the project's outcomes. The last effort is to gain approval and distribute the project charter. We have created short headlines for each one of the 8 tasks introduced in the RDS 2015. Next screen will show you how their progress fits into the project plan. See below our task line presenting the 8 tasks of the first domain as delineated in the new 2015 RDS. The last and 8th task is marked in bold. Take note of the preceding tasks. The final tasks of the first domain are presented below. Take note of these important tasks. Among the projects you have completed so far, do you recall performing all or part of these initiating tasks? In this presentation, we will focus our interest toward the task number 8. How familiar are you with this task? Take a minute to read the full description of this RDS task as summarized in the PMP Exam Outline 2015, page 5. Let's identify key concepts specific to this 8th task. Approved Project Charter. Deliverables and milestones. Roles and responsibilities. Let's clarify our understanding of these concepts in the context of the project manager day-to-day job. How do you understand these concepts? Take a moment to write down notes in your own words. Always check the latest PMBOK guide when you are in doubt. When you are ready, move on to the next screen where we present note cards with our digest of these important key terms. You will compare with your current understanding and identify gaps. This quick mental exercise will facilitate your knowledge acquisition. Understanding of approved project charter. A key responsibility of the project manager is to participate in the development of the project charter, to understand the basis of the project requirements. With this knowledge, the project manager must assure that the project sponsor and key stakeholders grasp the essence of the project charter. The charter functions as the agreement or partnership between the project team and a sponsoring organization. Strive for a common understanding of the charter to align the project to the organizational strategy, and to formally initiate the project with fully informed stakeholders. Deliverables and milestones. Central to understanding the approved project charter is confirming agreement on the overall project deliverables and milestones. The content and scope of the project deliverables within the project charter defines the unique product, service, or result that the project will produce. Along with the understood deliverables, the project milestones must align with the timeline expectations of the project sponsor and stakeholders so that there are no surprises. Roles and responsibilities. Along with the approved project charter, discussions about roles and responsibilities must take place to ensure the project's success. It's important that the project manager and sponsor discuss the roles, required skills, reporting relationships, and potential vendor outsourcing needs at the time the project is given approval to start. Clear roles and responsibilities will help ensure that the project initiation will be successful. Be sure to publish the agreed-upon roles and responsibilities to document the discussions. PM technical knowledge. In addition to the concepts presented earlier, it is also important to keep in mind essential knowledge and definitions. This task requires technical knowledge of the project's stakeholder register. Step 1. Write your own summary. Write down your own definition and key points to describe the essential project management knowledge associated with this topic. Step 2. Review our one-page summary. Browse our collection of knowledge sheets and review quickly the project management essential knowledge we have summarized. Step 3. Self-assess your review. How did you do? Comparing your summary with the one shared by peers should help you reinforce your foundational knowledge. Pause and go to next screen when you are finished. Well done! We have set a solid foundation to tackle implementation. Now, it is up to you to make it work. What are the useful project management processes, techniques, and tools that will enable you to engage stakeholders and achieve this task's goals? Ensure understanding of the project manager's duties for this task, one step at a time. See next a list of 5 pieces to take into consideration when you review the approved project charter in your organization. What are the main challenges a project manager needs to overcome to complete this task? See below our tasks review card. 1. Confirm business case. 2. High-level requirements. 3. Assumptions and constraints. 4. Deliverables and milestones. And 5. Roles and responsibilities. What are your thoughts? Does this list make sense? On the next screen, we selected a leader's words of wisdom to bring perspective and inspire you as you tackle this task. If you don't know where you're going, you might not get there. Yogi Berra, former American baseball player, manager, and member of Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame. This simple statement that can remind project managers of the importance of ensuring a common understanding of the approved project charter or the project might not succeed. Let's take a look at issues that you may encounter and how to address them using trusted project management standards. Is the business case still relevant? When creating the project charter, the business case should have been referenced. It's a good practice for the project manager to double-check that the project sponsor and key stakeholders understand and buy into the business case. The last thing you want to hear once the project is started is, "Why are we doing this?" Are the high-level requirements understood? As the project charter was developed, high-level requirements were captured for the project. As you seek to gain a common understanding of the project charter, be sure to walk through the high-level business requirements that are in the approved charter. Any inconsistencies or unanswered questions from your project sponsor should be documented so that as the project progresses, they can be addressed to answer the question, "What problem are we solving? What are the assumptions and constraints?" The approved project charter is a high-level document. As such, it's important that the assumptions made and the constraints encountered are clear to your project sponsor and stakeholders. Have a specific dialogue on the assumptions and constraints to gain the understanding of the scope, timeline, cost, and risk impacts. Do the deliverables and milestones meet expectations? The project charter is your guidebook to the remainder of the project. Its deliverables and milestones must be agreed to and understood by your project sponsor and stakeholders, or you will be starting off on the wrong foot. Have the discussion with your project sponsor, specifically around, "Is this what you expected?" Roles and responsibilities cover who's doing what. Now's the time to review the project charter aspects related to roles and responsibilities. This should cover key personnel, leadership, governance, and any outsourcing components of your project. Aligning on these aspects up front is critical to project success and understanding. Let's take a pause to reflect as we are getting ready to wrap up this first presentation. Did you observe any discrepancy between your current practice and the review items presented in the previous screens? Why not pick one or two of these new best practices exposed in this presentation and make it your goal to implement them? That's it for now. We have collected important observations about key concepts, processes, techniques, and tools associated with this task. Make a mental note or write down the main points you want to retain. Take a couple of minutes before you jump up to the time for action. To earn points for this activity, you will complete a truths and myths quick quiz. In the next Explore activity, you will take a best practice survey and explore critical factors that can break or make this project's task. Keep in mind the information provided in this presentation